in areas prone to disasters. This House believes that states should prioritize disaster mitigation over relocations. Can you imagine if you're faced with two choices, either doing disaster mitigation or relocations? If I'm faced with those options, for sure I will choose disaster mitigations. And why? Disaster mitigation is a measure to reduce the impact of disasters such as earthquake, floodberries, tsunami, and the others. Whereas relocation is like moving communities or the people permanently away from the high-risk area. From the statement, I agree that we should prioritize mitigations over relocations because it will protect us from any kind of disaster like I've already said earlier, such as earthquake, floodberries, and tsunami. And I will talk about the benefit from prioritized disaster mitigations. The benefit is firstly, we can know the things to watch out for preparation, such as prepare some kind of things or items that we should bring or leave, and then secondly, we can minimize the risk of loss of life by ensuring that make sure everyone is understands about the evacuation routes and self-rescue measures. While if we talk about the relocation can be impossible to implement it. Why? Because relocation is spending a lot of money, and I agree if many other people could lose his livelihood. Meanwhile, the disaster mitigation can press the budgeting and often saves $1 billion for the future. And if relocation is being prioritized, I think many people refuse to leave their homes. Like I've already said before, they may lose their job and then I'm sure they have to adapt to the new environment again. And the reasons why they will refuse it, because they distrust the governments and they fear that they couldn't find their jobs again. And mitigation included physical, such as strengthening buildings, and non-physical, such as education and early warning system, like for example, an education of how to save your life from disaster if the disaster is come, and then giving a global warning or like the others, and with measures that protect people wherever they are even before or during a disaster. These are some facts. I will talk about the fact if we prioritize disaster mitigations. Firstly, we can save many souls. Many people ask, what is socialized for? While the fact is, it can increase people's insight about how to save themselves from this disaster. And secondly, they will know about the preparation to facing the disasters. And the second point is saving the budget. Either relocation, disaster mitigation is only using a low budget and they just telling about how to measure the disaster. Either kind using a low budget or even they didn't use any kind of budget. And if we talk about the relocation should be used as the last option when mitigation is impossible or is already dangerous or even it already been happened. And to save many souls, they will relocate people with use. And the third point is community resilience. Like if we're building an awareness of disaster in the community, such as through regular simulations, like for example, like the simulations of earthquake, the simulation of how to save your soul, save your life if you're faced with the disaster, the tsunami, so that they can be able to respond to emergencies independently before the assistance is arrived. In brief, I agree about the government should prioritize disaster mitigations over relocations because it will be more effectively and it provide comprehensive long-term solutions. And the secondly is they can cost efficiency, and then they can building a community independence and empowering children from an early age to understand about the disaster mitigations is the first step in building of disaster-aware society. I hope that the knowledge gained in school can be passed on to the surrounding community to reduce disasters. Thank you.